Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Moletrap here coming at you with game number 3 of the semifinals between GoRush and Goodfriend from the 2005 Ever OSL. And if you are watching this, and I mentioned this at the end of game 2, we're going to mention it one more time for here at the beginning of game 3. If you're missing game number 1, my apologies. I couldn't find it when I was downloading these games. I'm casting these in my car right now, trying to get these games casted before the battery dies on my laptop. Sitting here by myself, yelling at my laptop, yelling with excitement at my laptop in my car in a campground in the middle of nowhere. It's good times. Technology these days, I don't even know. Anyway, it's crazy. But it's just, I mean, it's just interesting that like I can do this and I'll upload them later. But it's just life is weird, man. Life is weird. Anyway, if I can find game number 3, I might not be able to cast it and upload it before these games. So again, hopefully this is just nonsense and game number 1 already went up. If not, then I will try and cast it after the fact, but I would rather have the games go up out of order than just like not have weeks pass without me being able to upload anything. So anyway, we'll see. But this is game number 3 between GoRush and Goodfriend. And again, I am in a campground in the middle of nowhere, so I don't have Wi-Fi or even any cell reception right now. So I can't actually look up any information about these players in order to talk about their history. But if I remember correctly, these guys played in the 3rd place match of the previous Star League. So this is a rematch, ladies and gentlemen. GoRush, again, I'm really hoping I remember this correctly. I will put some notes in the video description if I turn out to be incorrect. But GoRush beat Goodfriend pretty handily in the 3rd place match of the previous Star League. So, if I watched game number 1 first and watched GoRush win the first game, I would have said kind of not surprised. But I'm also kind of a little surprised too because Goodfriend is playing so strong. He's just been playing really, really great. I mean, I said that last Star League too, but here he is again. The first game here that he lost to GoRush was the first game that he's lost in this Star League. He won his group 3-0 and he won his quarterfinal 2-0. And he's just been looking really, really awesome lately. So, GoRush able to take the first game off of him now. It's a tie-up series now. So, are we going to see Goodfriend able to bring it back and actually take the series here? Is the question. After losing the first game, he's tied it up now. He needs to keep going. Of course, this is a best of 5, so Goodfriend could lose one more game and still come back and win it. But when you're down 2-1, the momentum is hard to make up for sometimes. In any case, we're just going to see Goodfriend do the exact same starter build that he does every single game versus Zerg with the 2 barracks play, is what's probably going to happen. He does the standard push where you do the 2 barracks, you make a bunch of Marines. While you're building Marines, you build the academy. You get out 2 medics and 2 fire bats, and you go. And you got a super strong push. You get stim while the fire bats and medics are being made, and it's a really, really powerful push. Zergs, even the top Zergs of this era, have a hard time dealing with it. And sorry, I got distracted a little bit there because she was wearing a shirt that had a cowboy hat on it, and this is totally random. But I was like, why does she have a cowboy hat on? But then I remembered that today I met a dog with 3 legs whose name was Cowboy. And it was a really, really cute dog, and it was super, super friendly. And it came up and like cuddled. It was just someone's random dog on the street. I was walking around. Come on, VOD, catch up with the sound. There we go. And anyway, I'm not sure where I'm going with that, other than like for some reason her shirt reminded me of the 3-legged dog that I met today. Oh boy. I mean, if you guys weren't used to my random stories, you wouldn't be watching, so not gonna apologize. GoRush going for the same sort of build that we saw last time as well. We've seen a lot of Zergs do lately. Lately in 2005. Going for the for the Hydralisk Den first versus Terran. Going for the Lurkers first. Now, of course, after like 29-10, it was extremely standard to go Mutalisks first, use the Mutalisks to buy time to get your third base and your Lurker tech up, and then use the Lurkers to defend your bases while you try to tech up more and etc. Of course, you can go for attacks if you sense the ability to in between there as well. You don't just have to defend with Lurkers, but that's normal for Zerg to tech up to at least that tech and 3 bases before they really do much in the versus Terran matchup. But here in 2005, it seems to be more standard, at least the games that we've been watching lately, to go for the Hydralisk Den first and go for the Lurkers first, and then actually get a Spire afterwards. Now this is really interesting too. Goodfriend has actually gone for an expansion, so he's going for the 2 barracks openings, but he's also varying it up. He's changing it up. He's not just going for that 2 barracks Firebat medic push that I just talked about a few minutes ago. He's changing things up. Last game he went for the fast tanks. This game he's gone for an expansion off of his 2 barracks. And so he's kind of using the 2 barracks Marines as a defense. And did we just see some Lurkers start morphing? We already have Lurkers in play. Oh, he's going to lose an Overlord. He went in to scout with it. It's, I think intentionally sacrificed in a way. He knew he needed to get that scout in and see if there was expansion there. What are these Marines doing? They're going around the bottom of the map is what it looks like. Looks like scouting for maybe trying to attack a third. I think they were looking for a third base to kill. I think he was trying to kill the third base that he didn't know existed before the Lurkers were in play or something like that. But GoRush has gone for very quick Lurkers and has them out already. He built them, interestingly, at his second base. He didn't, sometimes you see Zergs, and when I say Zergs, I mean July Zerg for sure, and maybe others, will send some of their Hydralisks out into the map so that they can morph them in a proximity location near the Terran base so that they can go in hard and fast with the Lurkers as soon as they're done morphing and go in and put some aggression on and put the Terran on the defensive. And especially if the Terran was expanding like Goodfriend did, then that could have been very effective. It's what we see July Zerg do a lot. GoRush, different Zerg. Is interestingly, despite being named GoRush, is not going for the rush that we would expect out of July Zerg in this instance. He has those Lurkers out. He's kind of sending them across the map now, but he morphed them at home first. And, he may have been thinking that it was going to be, he needed to play defensive. He may have been thinking, he hadn't spotted that expansion yet, and he was thinking it was going to be that, 8 Marine, 2 Firebat, 2 Medic push. So that may have been why he decided to keep them at home. But anyway, like I said before, they go for the Lurkers and then use the Lurkers to get kind of control of things that they say, okay, you can't attack me and kill me right now because I've got Lurkers, and then build the Mutalisks after the fact, and then use the Mutalisks to kind of harass and kill time, buy time rather, to get the third base. And he's kind of running into an interesting spot there. He dodged the turrets. Why is the VOD messed up? I do not know. Anyway, he kind of dodged around the turrets, ran into some Marines, got stuck in a kind of an awkward position, like the back of a Volkswagen. And sorry, it's a Clerks reference. Sorry about that. I think it's Clerks, right? I think it's Clerks. Anyway, one of those movies. But yeah, so now GoRush is able to buy time for that third base with the Mutalisks. Although he did take a little bit of damage, he's not able to really get in and do a lot of damage right now. There's a solid turret line in the main base there. We saw, I think, 4 turrets around the main command center. We've only got 1 or 2 at the natural here, but the Marines are camped near the natural. So he's going to go in there, he's going to kill off the turret, and you can see he's actually still not clumping his Mutalisks, by the way. We're just going to keep an eye on that. And someday Someday we're going to be watching one of these 2005 games and we're going to be like, oh, he's using the clumping. Might not be the Starleg, but we'll see. Apologies for the weird noise. My water bottle makes a little squeaky sound when I open it up, and I'm a bit parched. Alright. Sorry about that. Getting back into it. Milas flying around. Usually I can cast games and not really have to, like, take a drink of water, but for some reason my throat is getting a little itchy. Maybe it's because I haven't been on the road and haven't been casting as consistently. I don't know. Anyway, he's gonna dive in here and kind of interestingly, he's gonna repair the turret. He's gonna go back in for the turret. Oh, the turret's still alive. He was doing a cool micro trick actually, where he attacked the turret, and then the Mutalists that the turret was attacking, he drew them back away from the turret fire, so the turret would shift targets in order to save those Mutas. It didn't really work terribly well, and obviously he didn't get the turret, so it's kind of a waste, but it was kind of a cool trick anyway that I noticed he was doing there. He's just now building his third base. This is really interesting. So GoRush is going and rushing. He's being very aggressive here. He's got 2-base hive? Am I crazy? There's 3 clumps on the minimap, but I don't think that the third clump is a third base. I think it's a macro hatch. So he's actually going for 2-base hive. He's obviously getting a third base as well. So he's going to be able to, once the Defiler Mound finishes, he'll have, or once I should say Consume finishes, he'll have the third gas. I don't think he's quite going to have it quite in time. Anyway, pushing in here with a lot of Zerglings. So many Zerglings coming in from all different sides. Well, they're coming from one side, but they get a good surround on the tanks and some of the Marines as well. The Mutalists charged in as well and just soaked up damage. The Marines actually targeting down the Mutas and the Zerglings, finishing them off. And now he's going to polish off the Lurkers as well. Now, he did lose all but a handful of his Marines, but I think that is a win for Goodfriend right here. That looked very, very, very strong. GoRush coming out here with another group of Lings and a Lurker. I think if that had been together, well, I guess, it's like if he'd waited for that group, then Goodfriend would have had more Marines too, potentially. But, I think if he had those extra Lings and that one extra Lurker in there, I think they could have been a lot more deadly. Also, the Marines did get a good chance to fight separately from where the Lurkers were. So the Marines were not being attacked by the Lurkers where they were fighting. The Marines were just attacking Lings and Mutas, and the Lurkers were attacking the tanks, so the tanks did all die, which is pretty important. But oh no, these Scourge are going after this dropship. This is crucial if he gets that dropship. That is huge. He does get the dropship, which was aiming for the third base. It was going to go ahead and kill off that third base, basically unobstructed. I don't think GoRush has Nidus. I don't think he has much defense at that bottom right base. So if he'd done a drop at that spot, I think it would have been very deadly. Of course, the dropship was aiming for the bottom of the map. He could have also been planning on bringing it around the bottom and attacking the natural with that. But still, losing that drop, drops are a really good way to gain an advantage without too much risk when you're a Terran player. But if you lose that drop, it is, the risk, what's the opposite of paying off, basically? Oh, Scourge taking off a couple vessels. He has the Consume, though, already, and he's able to push out with some Dark Swarms. So now, Goodfriend is a little bit of at a disadvantage. Now, of course, he does have, I think, the army advantage right now. He's got more stuff right now on the map, and he can threaten that bottom right base. I don't know. It's going to be crucial to see if he can protect that bottom right base. Ooh, a tank gets caught out by Zerglings in the middle of the map, and he's going to be able to save it. Oh, the tank is almost dead. He's trying to sacrifice a couple Lings to get it. Now he's bringing his full force here. The tank is probably going to die, but here's what I was talking about. Yeah, that bottom right base is not defended. He's going to be able to kill it off very quickly. And those +1 attack upgraded Marines are going to be able to kill off the hatchery before anything can happen there. So we're going to see GoRush going back down to 2 bases. He's going with a large force here in the middle of the map, though. And if he can kill off this force, it will be significant. He might be able to turn the tide and actually maybe kill off Goodfriend's expansion. But no, he's actually forced back again. So he's got Hive Tech, and, Hive Tech is really difficult for Terrans to deal with. But if you've got 2 bases versus the Zerg 2 bases, I think it just doesn't matter if they have time. Well, it doesn't not matter, but it's you're going to be able to deal with it. Oh, unless you throw away Marines. Oh my God! 10 kills on that lurker alone, and there was a couple other lurkers there that got some kills. Oh no! That is how that's how GoRush can get back into this game, by getting free kills by Marines. Those Marines that were in the bottom right, I believe, just walking over lurker fire, just walking across deadly spikes and just dying. And now GoRush pushing out towards the middle map as well, and he's got a long ways to go to the natural, but he is slowly pushing out here. Now here's the thing: this map has a sort of larger middle area, and so Goodfriend, if it was a straight line, if there was just a straight line corridor between GoRush's base and Goodfriend's base, then he would just have to draw a line with Dark Swarms and slowly pushing back into his natural. Oh, here we go, another attack coming in here. Most of the Zerglings die before the Dark Swarm goes down, but the Lurkers are able to get underneath that Dark Swarm, do some significant damage. Crucially, he actually did kill off the Fire Bats, so it's going to hamper any efforts to deal with these mass Zerglings that we've seen coming out from him in the future. But in any case, what I was saying is, if it was a straight line, GoRush could just swarm all the way to the bank. But because there's an open area, Goodfriend can kind of move around in circular motions, and he doesn't have to fall back to his natural. So Goodfriend can kind of avoid the Dark Swarms and also avoid being pushed into his natural. Now Goodfriend is trying to make a third base here, and he's actually forced to cancel it by a Dark Swarm with some Lurkers underneath there. Zerglings dying in the middle of the map. Goodfriend is just macroing like crazy right now. He needs that third base, though, pretty soon, because he's about to mine out his main. And I think GoRush has a little bit of time left before he mines out his main. So, if GoRush... Oh, look at that plague! Major plague-oo. All of the vessels, most of the bio, all get plagued. He's going with some Scourge. This is possibly a chance to take out several vessels right now. He just needs one Mutalisk as well, actually. It'd be great to go after that. Are the Marines going to be able to save those vessels? One goes down. Looks like the Marines are going to go ahead and take up position in order to defend the rest of the vessels from future Scourge. But it may not even matter. Here he comes in with some Zerglings and Lurkers, but no Dark Swarm to follow up with. But the Marines are all low on health. He's been moving them around a lot, so the medics haven't had time to fully heal all of them, I don't think. And even if they had, the medics are low on energy. So these Zerglings are doing significant damage. Is GoRush actually going to win this game somehow? He's just seeming to win all of the battles now. He was like barely losing most of them, the early ones, but now he's winning them. And he has managed to secure that bottom right base again. It looks like, he had an attempt at a side left base. That got taken out. I believe one other base was taken out or stopped as well. I could be wrong about that, but it looks like he might be able to secure that bottom right base and get up to a third base again. There's a lot of vessels in play. I mean, those vessels are not dead yet, though. So they can still continue to do irradiations. But he needs to be very, very careful with those. Those vessels are his main advantage right now. He can irradiate Lurkers. He can irradiate Defilers willy-nilly with the amount of energy he's getting off that many vessels, but they are so vulnerable. Come on, GoRush. Make a Mutalisk. Do it. You want to make two Mutalisks and just go in and just kill them all. No, there's a huge fight of Scourge coming in from the side, and he's going to split them very well. He's going to take out most of the vessels. 4 or 5 vessels going down is a huge, huge deal. Major kill there by GoRush, and I'm looking at the bottom right of my screen. Apparently recording takes a lot of power. I had a full battery, but I'm actually down very low on battery power right now. I hope it lasts for the rest of this game, at least. Crap, maybe I should keep it. I might have to stop recording so the whole thing doesn't get lost. Alright, it says I have some minutes remaining, so hopefully I'll be able to keep recording the rest of this game before the battery dies. I don't have an adapter anymore to hook up my computer to the... Oh, is he going to get one of the plagued ones? He does get one of the plagued ones, takes out another one. But it looks like Goodfriend is making vessels off of two starports now, so he's actually putting out a lot of vessels to replace the ones that he's lost. So he's still at a significant vessel count, still able to willy-nilly irradiate things. And look at the amount of fire bats in play for Goodfriend now, by the way. He knows that that's the main threat is the Zerglings under the swarm, and, well, fire bats do full damage under swarm, so it's fine. And now he might be going for the kill here very soon because GoRush has 2 bases on the side, but he's not able to keep up the unit production. He hasn't been able to get full mining on those right side bases. And so Goodfriend just has so many units. I think there's some plague going down on the Firebats right there. It's hard to tell with the colors here, but I think there was some plague there. And now he's going into the natural expansion. There's several lurkers morphing right now. If he can complete those lurkers, he will be able to defend this. But it might not matter if he loses the right side bases to this group of Marines. And it looks like the 4th base he was building was canceled. And it looks like he's going to... Oh, he is going to defend that right side base for now. All the lurkers finish morphing. And most of them immediately get irradiated. He's going to move out with some of them. And it looks like they're just going to die. He just kind of commanded them out into the middle of this huge force of Marines. And they're just dead. And the Scourge are not the way to go against the plagued... vessels. He needs to get mutas in there, although mutas are more expensive, of course. Anyway, it looks like he does manage to get a swarm down and a couple lurkers underneath the swarm, so he is going to defend his natural, but I think it's too late because he doesn't have a Nidus to go over to his 3rd base on the bottom right, and so that base is going to go down. You know it is because he cancels all the eggs there. He's giving it up, and we now see that GoRush is scout. Oh, another beautiful plague. Everything gets plagued. Oh man, it's like the numbers of rising of the plagued units. I'll just say it that way. I'm not going to make any too untasteful jokes. I can't say they're tasteless jokes because then it would mean that they were like jokes that tasteless would make. Anyway, GoRush has mined out his main, but he's got a 3rd base and a 4th base now. He's just, when you out-econ a Zerg as a Terran player, I don't think there's just anything the Zerg could do. GoRush knows that's the case. He's going to hold on for dear life until the very last of his units are dead. He's going to just try and pull a rabbit out of his hat, but you know what? He's wearing like a beanie that was designed for a baby. There's not enough room in it for a rabbit. I'm sorry, GoRush. There's no rabbits here. And GoRush is going to lose game number 3. And it's going to go down into a deficit of 1-2 in the series. And there is the GG. There's a GG coming from GoRush. Goodfriend wins game number 3. GoRush looking puzzled. That's an interesting facial expression. He's like, what the hell happened? Alright, I'm going to not talk about the game too much because I'm going to hit stop recording so I can try and see if I can squeeze out game number 4 before my battery dies on my laptop. Thanks for watching. GG.